Hey YouTube, it's Brogi Naric back again. Got another video for you. This time talking about the new Blumhouse movie, Upgrade. I just saw it. If you haven't heard about this, immediately look up the trailer, the Red Band trailer, and that gives you all you really need to know about this movie. This movie is really, really damn good. It's rated R, and it's sweet as shit. It's a sci-fi action movie set sort of in the future. And yeah, it's sort of set in the probably 30 years in the future. It's about this guy, kind of looks like Tom Hardy. I forgot his name. I need to know this actor's name because he's really good in this movie. And he plays a mechanic. He's like the closest thing to a blue collar. Well, he's a blue collar guy, and he's a mechanic. And he has this wife who is she's the breadwinner in the family, and she works at this tech company where they work on cybernetics, and they help soldiers and vets with what do you call it, prosthetics. So he has this. He's a mechanic, and he's working for this rich guy, this weird eccentric, not a kid, but he's a young guy. He's working for him. He makes this Pontiac Firebird for him. And the wife knows who he is and is like, oh, this guy's, he works for the other company that's actually really good and better than us. And so he shows them off some tech thing. So they're on their way, they're going back home, and they get into a car accident, and then some dudes rolled up on him and shoot his wife. He gets shot too, and he ends up paralyzed. And then he's paralyzed for probably a couple of months, and then that same billionaire guy comes back and it's like, hey, that chip I showed you, that's like, kid, it can heal you. If we can do this illegal operation, I can put this chip in you and it can heal your paralysis. So he does it. It heals his paralysis, and he can now walk, because he was paralyzed from like the neck down. He couldn't move his arms, couldn't move his legs, but the chip heals him. And unbeknownst to him, there's an AI voice in it, and it helps him. It works with him. It's like Jarvis. It works with him. And through some means, the chip helps him track down the guys that were involved in his wife's murder, and he goes to get revenge. That's like the basic storyline without spoiling anything. And we're going to do spoilers in this review, but that's going to be a little bit later. But this movie is really good. It's written and directed by the same guy. I don't know. I didn't get his name, but he's really good. If you've seen the movie The Guest, it used to be on Netflix, but it's sort of like that. Where it's a bit of a slow burn. You're not sure exactly where everything's going, but it does pick up. Although it's not as much of a slow burn as The Guest, where all the action is mainly at the end. It's good action throughout, but it does pick up. And the action is it's a rated R film. There's blood, there's cursing, and it's a bit gory. Like, it's not overtly gory. Like, it's not Tarantino. It's not what's his name? Eli Roth with the Hostel movies or anything like. When it gets grounded, when it gets gritty, it's deserved. It's not gratuitous. The soundtrack is very good. The soundtrack is also similar to The Guest with the synthesizer, sort of 80s-ish music. But the acting is very good. The cinematography, the way they use the camera work really makes the action stand out even more. Because the action is not anything new, but it's just the way it's presented that makes it very good. And the music, and the way the guy acts, because he really brings good emotion to him being paralyzed, and you buy it, because there's a very good, you can tell the difference from when he's paralyzed to when he's being controlled, because he's not moving like a normal person. He's more like a mannequin, he's like a robot almost. He's doing the robot, he's miming, and he does very well, especially in the action sequences where his head is still, but like his arms are moving, and his facial expressions to him being like, whoa, like what's happening is great. You see it in the trailer, and they do it throughout the movie, and you buy it every time. The black girl from Get Out was also another Blumhouse movie. She's in it, the one that was the maid. She's in it as a detective, and she's like the other, because there's only really like There's only like 5 or 6 characters in this movie. Is very kind of like Get Out as well, where there's only about 6 people that you really get any lines, and everyone else is just background. and it's even smaller in this. But there's a budget. There's more of a budget in this one because they get it's set in the future, but it's not like everything is the future. Like there's self-driving cars, but not everyone has a self-driving car. There's only about really like 3 of them that you actually see, and you see it's only rich people who have them because everyone else have, you know, basic transmission cars, which was cool. I like how they, you know, it's the future but not too far into the future. It's not like everyone has electric cars, but the houses, but then again, yeah, it's the rich people who have those everything's like the, you know, the touchscreen tables, and you got the AI in your house. But it's really, this movie, like I'm saying, this movie is not, it's not basic, because there was a moment where I thought it was going to be kind of basic, where it's like, oh, that guy is the villain. That's kind of lame. But then there's a twist, and it's like, oh, like, and the twist is not like this crazy thing, but the twist is good though. It's a very good twist. It's an earned twist, and it's like, oh, that's the twist. Okay, that's cool, and it's kind of fucked up, but it's interesting. So yeah, go check this one out. It's really good. It's great storytelling, great action. But yeah, there's some things that they did that aren't as typical. And one of the things I liked was when the guy has to deal with his life as a paraplegic. They do an interesting thing they rarely do in action movies, where it's a man and his wife. His wife dies, and now he's all alone. In this movie, he's not all alone. He still has his parents, or at least he has his mom. His mom is there to help him. And there's a touching moment where his mom, because he's been paralyzed for probably a couple of months, 3 or so months, and his mom is helping him in the house, and he's like got a beard, and there's this moment where she's like cleaning him because he can't move his arms or his legs, and she's like help washing him, and she's like trimming down his beard, and the guy just starts crying, and like his mom like holds him. He's, you know, he's like, I got to live my life like this. And yeah, it's touching moments. The villain, like not the main villain, but the guy that you'll see in the trailer who's involved in the girlfriend's murder, he's pretty cool. He's really cool. Like, there's not a lot to him. There's not a lot to most of the characters, but you get his basic story. He's like, if you've seen RoboCop, you know, there's the Dick Jones character who's the main villain. Then there's Clarence Boniger, who's like the mid-level villain, and that's the role he fits. And he's pretty cool. He's not like a super tough, like he's tough, but he's not a big guy or anything. Like no one's like super big and brawny. He's a mid-sized guy. I think he's British, but he's got a cool look, and he's got a cool ability. If you see in the trailer, everyone has, well, not everyone, but most people have these they have these guns built into their arm. It's like the bullet comes out of the palm of their hand. They load the gun in their bicep, and that's pretty cool. And that was cool. But there's other abilities that they have that, especially one in particular, that's like I've never seen that before. It may have been in the anime before, but it was really sweet. But yeah, all in all, check this out. It's not a long movie. It's probably about an hour and a half, maybe hour and 40 minutes, and it goes by like it's not a but you know, it's if you're getting invested into it. And yeah, I would say go check this out. So that's all I can really say for non-spoilers right now. But also, oh wait, there's another actor that plays the billionaire kid. I liked him. I'm not familiar with most of these actors, but he was cool too, with the blonde hair, looking like Johnny Quest. He did a very good job too. But yeah, check this one out. This is one to see. This is hopefully this movie will be like A Quiet Place, because I've seen A Quiet Place, another Blumhouse movie that made a bunch of money. Very good movie. I like this more, mainly because it's like the sci-fi horror thriller. I'm not a big horror movie person, but that movie did well. But this one is more of a thriller action sci-fi movie, which I tend to like more. It's very sort of the guy Jeremy Jahns had said, is RoboCop meets John Wick meets Jarvis from Iron Man. And it's true. There's another movie it's like, but I'm not going to say it because that would kind of spoil it. And I'm glad he didn't say it either, but it's a very good film. Go check it out. And that's all I have to say in terms of non-spoilers, but we'll continue with a spoiler review after this. Okay, so non-spoilers. Certain action sequences are pretty gruesome. Like the one that they show in the trailer when he like cuts his mouth. That scene is just like it is in the trailer. It's kind of funny because the way his reactions and how he's talking back to the AI STEM, as the AI is called, is really good. The main actor, and his reactions to STEM. I like how there are certain moments where it's not just, well, they're a team in a way, which is kind of cool. Like, it's not just the robot the AI takes over and he can't do anything. It still has to rely on Gray Tracer, Gray Tracker, I think that was his name, Gray something, Grey Gray. And there's a moment where they are doing they're getting chased by the cop, the detective that's, she eventually realizes, okay, there's been different murders, and every time I've investigated, you seem to be in the area, even though you're a paraplegic. So what are you doing? And that's another thing. There's a lot of drones. I like there's a lot of drones in this world, and they actually use the drones, because there's certain moments where it's like, well, wouldn't the drone be able to detect them? It does. So it's very smart. It's like there's certain things that they do where it's like, well, wouldn't the AI be able to do this or shouldn't be able to do that? And the movie comments on it and actually puts it in the story. So it's not a dumb film. It doesn't treat the audience dumb. And that's another good thing about this film. That's very good. So there's a moment he's getting chased by the cop, and the AI can't hack her car because, well, actually no, she's bugged him with a old school bug. So it's not digital. So the AI can't hack it. And then her car is still transmission. It's not electric or self-driving like most of the other cop cars are. So the AI can't hack it. So it's like, I need you to do something. And he's in the car. He's in his I think he's in a Camaro, and he's in the old school Camaro. So he's using his driving skills to try to get away. Then the AI comes in and hacks someone else's self-driving car and uses it to crash into the cop to get her off his ass, because he's on his way to the main bad guy. But I'll get into that later. So the secondary main villain, he's really sweet, and he's all the guys that killed the girlfriend are ex-military who have enhancements from the company that the girlfriend worked for. So I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, so maybe the girlfriend wasn't as nice of a person as we thought. I thought they were going down that route. It doesn't. But so all the guys have the guns in their hands. They also have robot eyes where they can, see infrared and, the typical Terminator type stuff. And they also, is a moment where the main guy, he gets information from one of the guys that got killed. He had a needle, kind of like RoboCop had the needle in his hand. This guy has a little needle in his fingertip, sticks it in his eye, and he can re-record all the stuff that he saw. That was cool. Later on in that scene, they're in this bar that's like a underground criminal bar where it's all analog and no high-tech stuff is allowed. And the guys are like, what? Because it was an earlier scene where the guy in the wheelchair goes and he's like looking, he killed the guy that he cut. He's looking for his friend or someone who's connected, and he's like, hey, one of you guys killed my family, and I know killed my girlfriend or killed my wife, and I know one of you are in here, and I'm paraplegic, so you can just stand up and tell me which one of you did it. That would be nice. And everybody's kind of looking at him like he's crazy, and this big black guy stands up and he's like, are you like what? Why are you doing this? And he's like, oh, was that guy your friend? Because I knew him, and I'm the one that slit his throat, cut him open. And then the guy's like, okay. So they take him in the back room. They try to beat the shit out of him, but the AI takes over and he attacks everyone. And then his friends come in. So his friends come in, the main bad guy, and he's talking to the bartender, and he's like, so you knew our friend was back there getting cut, like getting hurt. Why didn't you do anything? And the guy's like, well, I just run the bar. I'm not trying to get involved in all your stuff. And he's like, okay. So he threatens he's going to attack him. And the bartender pulls out a gun. And he's like, hey, get away from me. Stay away. I'm not, like I said, I don't want to get involved, but I will shoot you. And because the guy is a very prideful, military guy. So he's like, you're just a civilian. You should be honored to serve us and all of that. And the guy's still threatening him with the gun. And all the dude does is he sneezes. He goes, achoo. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I had to sneeze. But you see when he sneezed, he's actually sneezed nanites that go into the guy's nose and like kills him from the inside. I've never seen that before, but that was sweet. Like the guy, like he has deadly sneeze. It's not just a sneeze, because he tries to do it later where he was he was probably gonna cough on him, but like the AI told the main character, like, oh, he's got nanites, don't let him do that. So that was really sweet. Some of the action, like they mix the action with comedy very well, or at least in the beginning, because once it keeps going, the action gets brutaler and brutaler. Because there's this moment where when they're in the bathroom and he's interrogating the guy was interrogating him with a knife, and he was trying to figure out where his pressure points was, because the AI was not active at the time, so he could still pass himself off as a paraplegic. And then he flipped it on him and took the knife, and he was gonna try to threaten him to get information, but he's still that's the thing. He's not a hardcore killer. He's still a regular guy. He doesn't like killing people. He reacts like a normal person when it comes to killing people. He wants revenge, but he's like, I really don't want to have to kill people. But the stem is like, well, you can't go to the cops because you signed a confidentiality agreement to not release this information. You got to keep it quiet. And the guy that did the operation is, he's doing his best to he's tracking him, but he's also trying to shut him down, because he doesn't want this information to get exposed, because it was an illegal operation that he did, but it's also a test run. So he's got to deal with that too. And he's threatening the guy, but he's like, I don't want to cut him. So the AI is like, well, let me take over and I'll do it. So he's like not looking, and his hand is just doing his thing. And then he looks back and he sees what it's done. And he's like, stop. And you see the guy's face, and his face is just drenched in blood, and he's just carved all the way up. It was pretty gruesome. But yeah, there's a moment where they shut down the body, and his body's slowly shutting down, and he has to crawl. Like, it's very good physical action in this movie. So yeah, the soundtrack was cool. Some other spoil. Okay, so yeah, the big spoiler. He tracks down the Clarence Bondiger character, and they get into a fight, which was another instance where the AI. The guy also had an AI, which if you're thinking, you're like, wait, is his AI the same? Does he have the same AI? Because he's neck and neck with this guy, and the AI is like, look, his program is just as good as mine, and I can't stop him. You have to come up with something. And so right when he's got him dead to rights, and he's about to shoot him, and then Gray talks about his friend and talks about like, oh yeah, I killed your friend, and he was crying like a punk when I started to kill him, which throws the guy off his game. He then's able to take him out, and he what did he do? Oh yeah, one guy, like they show in the trailer, he takes his hand and makes him shoot himself in the face. With this guy, there was a lot of broken glass, and he basically throws him to the wall, and then just drops him on a sharp piece of glass, and it like cuts into the back of his, like where his, where your neck and your head connect, is like the sharp glass goes into that part, and he like shuts down. And then he hears his earpiece, and he hears that the dude that signed him up for the operation, the rich young guy that he was working for, hired him to kill him. So then he's like, well, the AI's like, oh, he's working for that guy, so we need to go to that guy's place and kill him. And then that leads into the car chase from earlier. So they go back to the house where the guy is, which is like an underground area. And he's there with the AI there to kill him, but the cop is there because she got there. Somehow the cop got there first. Oh, no. She got there first because she eventually realized where he was going, thanks to the mother, who she interrogated a little bit earlier, told her the little bit of information that she didn't know about the operation and everything. So she's there in the place trying to arrest him, and the AI is like fighting her because the AI's program is to not let harm come to to Gray's body. That's what it's designed for. So Gray is like fighting the cop, but he doesn't want to kill her. He's like, I'm not trying to kill her, but so he has to fight against the AI's programming to protect itself to not kill her. And that's very emotional. There's a moment where he's about to stab the girl, but instead Gray fights it and ends up stabbing himself in his own hand. And he tells the cop to to tase him because he's choking the shit. He's like choking her, about to kill him. He's like, no, I don't want to do this. And he's like, tase me. And then she tases him, and that kind of disables him for a little bit. And so then that's when the kid gets up, and because you're thinking, oh, he's the bad guy. But the kid's like, look, I don't run my company anymore. I don't run anything anymore. The company is now run by the smartest person in the world, someone smarter than me, and it's STEM. It's the AI. The AI tech is the AI tech that's in Gray is the bad guy. From the moment, because he created the AI tech and it's very smart. So from the moment early in the movie when he showed him the AI chip to him and his girlfriend, and he was like, oh, this thing could revolutionize the world. It was already operational. Like, even before it was inside his body, it could operate on its own. And it was like, I need to go to the next level. I need a human body. I choose this guy. So from the moment, so when he goes back home, it hacks into his car, takes him to, what was it called? New Coven or something. It's like this big neighborhood that everyone is from. It's like a shit neighborhood. It hacks the car, they get in a crash, the guys roll up, shoot the girlfriend, and that was all planned. It wasn't because the girlfriend was evil, she was doing deals. No, she was a fine person. It wasn't because Cobalt is secretly evil. They kind of are, but I'm assuming STEM runs them now, because whatever. But it's like STEM had set it up just so it can take over this guy's body. And the whole goal, which we see throughout the movie, he's having these moments of hallucinations where he sees the girlfriend and then he wakes out of it and he's like, and the AI is like, oh, don't worry about that. That was a hallucination. And the guy's like, I don't know. That felt kind of real. You, and the AI continuously says this. It's like, don't fight me, because if you keep fighting me, you're going to overpower yourself and, well, you're not going to overpower yourself. Your body is not capable of dealing with my program, and it's going to shut down. And throughout this whole movie, the AI has been pushing him to shut down so it could fully take over his body, and that's what happens. The kid, once he reveals that the AI set everything up, Gray's kind of like, wait, what? STEM set this up? And it's like, STEM's like, yeah, I set it up because I need to go to the next level. He still has the knife in his hand, which is like peeking, the blade is peeking through his hand. He just slaps his hand on the kid's head and kills him that way. And then the kid's dead. And then the cop is still on the ground because she got hurt again. And Gray's got the gun, and Gray's trying to fight it. Well, actually, no. Gray fights it, and he shoots himself. Well, he thinks he shoots himself, but he wakes up in the hospital, and he's, like, whoa, what happened? And then the girlfriend comes in. She's like, oh, you're doing all right? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. I thought I lost you or whatever. So he hugs her and kisses her. But then we go back to the real world, and that was with the machine. That's where Gray finally broke. He tried to fight the AI to stop him, to kill himself. Didn't work. AI takes over, kills the cop, and just walks away. It like turns around. Oh yeah. So the AI kills the cop, turns right to the camera. And Gray's all bloody. Sees the blood, licks the blood, and he doesn't smile, but he kind of goes like a little huh, and just walks away. That's the end of the film. The fucking robot wins. It's Terminator. It's freaking Skynet. It's like if Skynet took over. Hell, it doesn't even have to be. It's like if Skynet used Miles Dyson to implant a chip into Sarah Connor to stop to be an AI, and then by the end of the movie, Sarah Connor is now actually Terminator. Like, that's basically the movie, and it's pretty dark, but it's also cool at the same time. I didn't know the movie was gonna go that route, but because I thought like maybe the guy will save the day. We might get a sequel. I'm thinking like we could get like a Upgrade 2, and he's like doing some other dumb shit, but. No, that's the end of the movie. The AI wins. The robots win. Skynet wins. It's kind of dark, but it was really sweet. It's cool. It's a cool movie. Check it out. Like I said, skip. You want to have a fun time. Don't waste time on Solo. Just go see this movie. I hope this movie does as well as Quiet Place, because it really deserves it. like I said, I think it's a better movie than The Quiet Place. Quiet Place is cool, don't get me wrong. I like that movie, but I like this more. Definitely more of a bit of a social commentary. Like it's not Get Out or anything, but it does comment on, you know, AI technology, and are we too close to machines, and our machines, do we rely too much on machines? Because Gray is that guy who's like, you know, why have a self-driving car? It's kind of stupid. Just drive your car. He's that guy, you know, and it's really good. But check it out. Go see it. It's worth it. But that's all I got to say. But yeah, if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe it. And go see the movie. Enjoy yourself. It's very good. But I'm out.